All right, guys, good morning. Do me a favor, cross your fingers. We need a miracle. Okay, I'm trying to record this. I just put Chandler down for a nap. Dude, did he literally just wake up? Nope, we're good. Hold on. All right, I literally just put Chandler down for a nap. I am going to try my best to get through all 5 of these questions without any interruptions. So we'll see. So looking at yesterday's Fantastic Five numbers, pretty good. Kind of what I expected with, the ones we struggled with on EOG Friday. I didn't expect those to magically just improve without going over them. So I do think that video that I posted yesterday was pretty beneficial, which, I can see what you guys are looking on. I can see what you're looking at on your Chromebooks while you're at school. So I was able to monitor who's going to what websites. And I think everybody but one or two, we're going to all the videos and following the order of their checklist, which is great. And I'll just, for those who weren't, I'll address that when I get back. So if you're watching this video today, make sure you're doing everything that's on that checklist because I'm going to be able to see. The one thing I really hope you took advantage of was during that video, I hope you took the opportunity to pause, take notes, because you can use those today just like we normally would. And you have that same chance right now. If you're going through this video and you keep missing number one or you keep missing number three, pause it, take some notes. And that way on Wednesday, you have a chance to improve it. So looking at question number one, it says Stacy has a square jewelry box. Her jewelry box has an area of 81 square inches. What is the perimeter of her jewelry box? So keywords in there, I didn't put them in capital letters, didn't underline or anything today. When you read a little and you do a little, if she has a square jewelry box, very easy for me to draw my square jewelry box. I can also go ahead and identify that it's got 4 equal sides. And then it even told me the area. It told me the area is equal to 81 square inches. And I know that to find the area, I'm always going to do length times width. So guys, I had to do something times something to get 81. And the fact that it's a square, again, is significant because that means all my sides are equal. I had to do a number times itself to get 81. For those of you who know your facts, you're probably going through this one pretty quickly. If not, you can work your way up 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, all the way up until you get to 81, which in this case, your length and your width are going to be 9 inches. So if I'm going length times width and it matches 81, well, I now know all my sides of my square are 9 inches. And that's important because if I want to find the perimeter, I have to add all the way around that shape. So I can go 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, repeated addition, or I can go 9 times 4. Either way, if you know your facts, that's going to give you a perimeter of 36 inches. Remember, area is always square units. Perimeter is just whatever unit that you're measuring. Number one was, I can't remember. It was either the most missed or the second most missed on EOG Friday. It was pretty good yesterday, so I'm anxious to see how the numbers look on Tuesday. No, it was definitely the second most missed because number 2 was the most missed. All right, it says Kim's new backyard has a perimeter of 248 feet. So all the way around her yard measures 248 feet. If her backyard is 106 feet long, how wide is it? So again, doesn't give me a picture. I can very easily draw one. It told me the distance around the outside is 248. And it also gave me the length. And y'all, if it's 106 at the top, it's going to be 106 on the bottom. Opposite sides are equal. I told you yesterday, there is a way to make sure you never miss this question. Like number 2 should be Ric Flair to me, in my opinion. Because I could take 106, I could add 106, and then I could start plugging in answer choices. Put A on the sides, put B on the sides, add them all up and see which gives you 248. And that takes you a little bit of time, which is why I would rather do it this way. Let's add up what we already have. Let's go 106 plus 106. Okay, in my ones place, 6 plus 6 is 12. 2 stays, 1 goes. In my tens place, that gives me 1. And in my hundreds place, I've got 2. So I know my total is 248. I've already got 212. I have to figure out what's left. Left meaning I have to subtract. Ones place 8 minus 2 gives me 6. In my tens place 4 minus 1 gives me 3. And in my hundreds place 2 minus 2 just cancels out. Now 36 is an answer choice, but if you chose 36, I know you didn't check your work. Because if I did 106 plus 106 plus 36 plus 36, that's going to be more than my perimeter. Y'all, I do have 36 feet left, but I got to split it between two sides. I got to take 36 and divide it by 2. And if you don't know 2 times something to give you 36, that's fine. We've done long division. Dangerous monkey swipe bananas. But if you are to do that long division, or if you are to plug in your answer choices, guys, that's going to give you a width of 18 feet. My fear yesterday is the same as today. I would think that a lot of you would do really good work and put 36 as your answer, but you got that one final step you got to take. Like if you get that close, it's just one more step to get that right answer. All right, question number 3. We're making good time right now, feeling good about it. It says Queenie and Gemma each have identical pizzas. Queenie had 2/3 of her pizza, which is less than what Gemma ate. Which fraction of pizza below could represent Gemma's amount? So guys, if Queenie has 2/3 and her fraction has got to be less, that means I'm looking for a fraction that is greater than 2/3. The way I'm going to figure that out is like we always do when we're comparing fractions, we're going to cross multiply. I would plug in my answer choices and I would just try to find one that was greater. So A is 4/6. 3 times 4 is 12. 6 times 2 is 12. I would eliminate that because those fractions are equivalent, and that's not what I'm looking for. All right, B, 2/4. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. Well, if that was the case, Queenie's amount would be greater than Gemma's amount. We can't have that. So we can eliminate B. All right, next we have 4/8. 3 times 4 is 12. 8 times 2 is 16. Again, I need Queenie's fraction to be less than Gemma's. In this case, it would be greater than. So we could get rid of C, which leaves us with our answer, but we'll check it anyways. 5/6. 3 times 5 is 15. 6 times 2 is 12. Queenie's amount is less. That's why 5/6 would be our answer. That's the only one that would be greater that could represent Gemma's amount. Guys, I got to pause real quick because he's wiggling around. Hopefully this won't take too long. Hold on one second. All right, that was a close one. All I had to do was get in his face and just say goo goo gaga like 6 times and he passed out. All right, I've got 2 questions left. Number 4 was the one yesterday that ended up being the most missed. And that was understandable because we hadn't really done one before. But not only seeing it in the Fan 5 review video, but also getting a chance to kind of see comparing decimals in the math lesson video, I think might have helped you today. So it says Charlie, JJ, and Logan were taking a test. Charlie scored 0 and 9/10. JJ scored at 86 hundredths, and Logan scored 0 and 8/10. Who scored the highest? So the one thing you learned yesterday is I cannot compare these things until they look the same. So if Charlie 0 9/10, who else? JJ 86 hundredths, and then Logan had 0 and 8/10. So once I get to this point, I've got to decide, well, do I want to make these all look like decimals or do I want to make them all look like fractions? And I think yesterday we made them look all like fractions, but today it makes much more sense to me to say, well, let's change these into decimals because 2 out of the 3 already are. So when I look at JJ's 86 hundredths, I would just write that as a decimal to look like exactly that, 86 hundredths. Okay. Now, some people would then say, well, hey, JJ scored the highest because he got 86. Charlie had 9 and Logan had 8. Well, they're still not following the rule. Guys, you've got to make these look the same. I have 2 that are in tenths and 1 that's in hundredths. Now, in a perfect world, since 2 of them were already in tenths, I would just take my hundredths and change that to tenths. But guys, I couldn't for this one. I can't take a 0 from 86. So I'm going to change my tenths to hundredths just by doing this. Add my zeros. Guys, now it's just eyeballing. If I want to know who scored the highest, well, I see a 90, I see an 86, and I see an 80. I know that 90 hundredths is greater than all those. That answer is going to be Charlie. Of course, my baby. got the highest grade. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so make them look the same. You got to either pick fractions or decimals. Then you got to decide, hey, are these in tenths, hundredths? They got to look the same. Once you make them look the same, that part's not hard. All right, guys, last but not least. Oh, crud, I got to pause again. Spoke too soon. Give me 1 second. Man, I'm so good at this. He's out like a light. All right, last question. Interpreting remainders. I told you this question could change every day just depending on how it's asked. So we could either be ignoring the remainder, using the remainder. We could be pushing up. There's a whole lot of things we could be doing. So it says, I have a party pack of tacos for me and 5 friends. That right there is important. We want to split the tacos evenly. Well, that right there tells me I'm dividing. If we split 44 tacos, how many tacos will be left? Well, hopefully when you guys were dividing, you didn't do 44 divided by 5. Hopefully you did 44 divided by 6, because me and 5 friends is 6 people. Dangerous monkey swipe bananas. All right, so when you are doing this one, you start with division. We know 6 cannot go into 4, but it can go into 44 7 times. Okay, so 6 times 7 gives me 42. When I subtract that, 44 minus 2 gives me 2. And then there's nothing to bring down, so I'm finished. That gives me 7 remainder 2. Now, the answer choices you see right here, they're not going to match what you saw on your sheet, so don't sweat that. So, guys, when I have 7 remainder 2, there's no such thing as 7 remainder 2 tacos, okay? So I've got to interpret the remainder. What am I going to use? Am I going to say, hey, let me ignore the remainder and say 7 tacos? Let me use the remainder and say 2 tacos, or let me push up and say 8 tacos. Those are my 3 possibilities. Now, yesterday I told you, you need to check this with multiplication every time, unless you see some keywords. And I see a big one. Guys, if we're talking about the tacos that are going to be left, remaining, not used, left over, that is always going to be your remainder, which is why your answer would be 2. That's the only one. Those are the ones to me that are not super challenging, and I'm assuming our number is going to be pretty high today. But those are the ones that we've got to be able to look at those keywords and say, I know exactly what he's talking about. That's my remainder. So Monday's numbers, not bad. I'm really, really hoping that Tuesday's numbers are going to be, obviously, I want them to go up. My plan is to be back tomorrow. Fingers crossed. We'll see. But guys, make sure you're following that checklist. Make sure you're watching everything that you're supposed to be doing. Because remember, I'm watching you. I appreciate y'all's hard work. I appreciate you meeting my expectations. Cannot wait to see y'all when I get back. Keep working hard.